Delegate to Develop by Breaking Barriers Training. In this course, we will talk about the definition of delegation, models of delegation, and the application of delegation. So let us start with the definition of delegation. So what is delegation? Well, it's an assignment of responsibility or authority to another person to carry out specific tasks. It is also to give control, responsibility to someone, to trust or someone with a duty or task. So basically, when we are trusting somebody to get a job done, we are delegating them the job. So it's not only the task that we're delegating, we're also delegating the responsibility to the other person of getting the job done. So let us first understand the ADA model of delegation. ADA stands for awareness, which is, does the person have enough role clarity, the task clarity, and expectation clarity before any task is given? The role clarity is about what is my role here, what kind of accountability is there, what is my responsibility here. Task clarity is what am I supposed to do exactly? What are the things that I have to keep in mind? What are the specific steps that I have to take care of? And also, what are the expectations of the department, expectations of my manager, expectations of my organization, or expectations of the customer that I have to deal with? The desire is about, do I really want to do this as a delegatee? So when you are delegating a task to somebody, you need to make sure that they are aware of the role, their task, the expectations that you have of them, the customer has of them, the desire, which means they are committed towards doing the job. The willingness is there in them, which we say, what's in it for me, which is part of motivation. Are they motivated enough to get the job done? The third thing is the ability. So the person may be aware of the role they are in, the task they have to do, the expectations that they have, others have of them. They may also be willing to do the job. But do they have the knowledge and skills to do the task? Because nobody can perform a task without knowledge and skills. So my dear friends, this is called awareness, desire, and ability model. So before we delegate anything to anybody, we have to make sure that all these things, the role clarity is there, task clarity is there, expectation clarity is there. The person is motivated to do the job, and the person also has the knowledge and skills to do the task. Let us now move on to levels of trust. Trust is not easy, as we say. It's not easy to trust people because sometimes people are distracted. Sometimes we fall. We have all fallen in the past, and that's why it's difficult to trust people. So let me share with you 6 levels of delegation. The first level, where the trust level is absolutely zero, is do as I say. This means to do exactly what I have asked you to do. Don't go left or right. Stay on the path. Okay, because I don't trust you. Now, after a while, I may elevate you to level 2, which says research and report. Please research and report and let me know how you would move forward, how we should move forward. But as you can see, I still don't trust you that much. So from report, now we are moving to more higher level of trust, where we're saying research and recommend, which means now that you have been with us, now that you have been doing certain things, you have achieved a level of recommendation. But still, I'm not letting you do all things. The fourth level is decide and inform. Okay, you first take a decision and inform me before moving ahead, which means kind of take a go ahead from me before you do it. And once somebody achieves level 4, they move on to level 5, which is decide and consult only if you have doubts, which means you're almost independent, but I'm always available to you if you get stuck somewhere, because I'm expecting you to get stuck somewhere. And then we achieve the last stage. The last stage is about working independently, which means I don't have to keep an eye on you anymore. You don't have to keep consulting with me anymore. As one of my leaders once told me, you have to be noiseless, which means till the time no stakeholders or customers are complaining about you, you are good to go. So that's level 6. So my dear friends, everybody in our team has to graduate through these levels, as we call them levels of trust. Now let's move ahead and talk about the 4 techniques or ways of delegation and improving people. Remember, delegation is one of the most important skills to improve people. So let us start with briefing. Briefing is explaining and agreeing on what they have to do. So you brief, you explain, and you listen to them, you ask them if there were any questions, and then you agree on what they have to do. The second is demonstrating, showing them how to perform the task or having them to do it with you, probably in level 1, 2, or 3 of levels of trust. Then checking that they can do it or not. The third is coaching. Again, as you can see, just like levels of trust, we are moving ahead, arranging a series of experiences and lead them into taking over the whole activity, where we will actually give them the entire thing. Finally, arranging a more comprehensive development program, possibly including an off-the-job seminar or conference or training program, which is a continuous process. So as you can see, it's kind of a cycle where you can start from demonstrating, developing, coaching, briefing, and then again, a different task which requires different skill sets, more development of your skill sets or higher proficiency of your skill sets. You would still go back to briefing and demonstrating and then developing and coaching. So this is a continuous process. As people keep learning and evolving, they keep improving. Now, some important tips of delegation. Number 1, know your people's strengths and areas of improvement. Because if you don't know your people's strengths and areas of improvement, delegating a task to them would become very difficult, because we saw in ADA model, which is do they have the desire and do they have the ability? We don't know. So for example, if somebody is very good at something and they've been doing this for a long time, they may not want to do that. They may want to do something else. So I would rather delegate my stuff to somebody for whom it is an area of improvement, which challenges them a little bit. The second thing is know what to delegate. And this 1 and 2 points are actually go hand in hand. So when we know what to delegate and whom to delegate, that's how it works. Play to your employees' strengths and goals, which means you know what somebody is good at it and what somebody wants to be good at it. So that's how you need to play the delegation game. Define the desired outcome, as we mentioned earlier. Please define the role, the expectations, the outcome. This is what I expect for you to do. Provide the right resources and level of authority as well. So, training them, skilling them, but at the same time, we have to provide authority to them to take an action. Establish a clear communication channel so that if they get stuck, you're always reachable there is no wastage of time or energy, and there is no delay. Allow for failure, which means when we allow people to fail, they develop more. But do remember, you have to assess the risk of failure. What will be the impact on the organization, on the department, on the individual, on the customer if the person fails to deliver? So after mitigating the risk, after assessing the risk, give them the freedom to fall and fail. Be patient. Everybody has a learning curve. Everybody does not learn quickly. Some people take more time, some people take less time. We have to be patient as leaders while we are developing people for delegation. Deliver and ask for feedback, which means give them enough feedback after every delivery, and also ask them for your feedback. Ask them how you have been doing in delegating a task. So feedback has to go both ways so that both of you improve. You as a delegator improves and the other person as a delegatee improves. Last but not the least, give credit where it's due. Don't shy away from appreciating people. Give credit. Even slightest improvement has to be appreciated. So this brings us to the end of this session of Delegate to Develop. Thank you so much for your time today.